Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. We will be discussing the top 10 steps to achieving your hotel's best content strategy. So getting started, today we will discuss why does content marketing matter, what is needed to be successful, examples of success, and then at the end we're going to have an interactive QA based around the most frequently asked questions we get regarding content marketing. So joining us today, we have Lindsay Mann, content producer, myself, Margaret Mastrogiacomo, Vice President of Strategy, Bramjot Ubroy, Senior Account Executive Team Lead. So why does a content strategy matter? So, in a nutshell, content fuels the travel planning journey, and content marketing really serves to generate interest in your brand without explicitly promoting it. So, it's really important to have this earned content in your digital ecosystem. So, social media, blogs, and video, they're all crucial to your strategy, and they all work together seamlessly to drive customer engagement throughout each step of the travel planning journey. So now I'm going to hand it over to Lindsay for what's needed for a successful content strategy.
Thanks, Margaret. The first step in creating a successful content strategy is ensuring that your content is transparent and aligned across all channels. This is your digital footprint. Look at content as a way to build trust with your guests, past and future. Without powerful, transparent content that maintains a singular voice, your customers will find their experience lacking and look elsewhere for a connection. Both your official and unofficial content should be aligned with no discrepancies. One way for hoteliers to do this is to use reviews as a guide. What are your guests saying about you, and how does it match up with the language you use to describe your brand? Next, leverage your analytics. Brainstorming content based on website analytics can help you find out what content is speaking best to your users. Hotels have thousands of data points that they utilize to dictate which audience to target with media, changes that should be made to the website, or which keywords to bid on. Often hotels forget that they can use these analytics to figure out what content should be developed next. Take a look into the website analytics while brainstorming new content. Are users spending a lot of time looking at photos of the suites? Consider writing up content that gives more context about the design of travelers' favorite rooms. Third, serve content to relevant audiences. Most brands have blurry lines when it comes to what constitute their actual target audience. Many hotels have multiple audience segments they want to be resonating with at once. The key to building content to the most relevant audience is pinpointing a broad audience that you would like to engage with your brand, and then create content in their particular voice. It's important to understand who your target really is, beyond just age, gender, and location. By creating a really well-defined customer persona and identifying a core target audience, brands can better map out content that will add value to the everyday lives and travel planning journeys of their customers without feeling like advertising or an interruption. Next, your content should always be evolving. Content is more than just a post on social media. It needs to have an aesthetic and be an experience. There are 3 key elements to elevating and evolving your content. First is to establish an aesthetic. When people land on your website or social feeds, they immediately can see the theme and feel the aesthetic. By curating consistent images and messaging, your online presence will have a more clear and recognizable brand aesthetic. Next, create an experience. Both your website and social media profiles serve as a preview into your hotel. By showcasing not just your property features, but also the local attractions and activities, you can create an authentic experience for your audience before they ever step through your doors. Finally, be cohesive across all channels. Make sure that wherever your audience is finding you, whether that be on Instagram, Facebook, or your website, that you're presenting messaging and imagery that looks like it's coming from one central source. Next in creating a successful content strategy is consistency. To build a meaningful following, you want to make sure that you are consistently creating content that keeps your audience engaged. Using step number 4, you can engage your audiences by maintaining an aesthetic and creating experiences and cohesion across all channels. To keep your audience coming back, this content needs to be presented on a regular and consistent basis so that your brand remains top of mind. However, you want to avoid spamming your users with too much or irrelevant content. Every post should have a clear tie back to your brand voice and values. Now I'll hand it off to Brahm, who can talk about blurring the media lines.
Thank you, Lindsay. So basically, by blurring the media lines, we're looking at really marrying the content to the actual media initiatives that we're running. So media initiatives, including search engine marketing, display initiatives, email marketing, social media, that should all be integrated with the content that we're also promoting on the website. Basically, for hotels that are looking to draw as many eyes as possible to their new brand relevant content, making sure to marry that content to media initiatives is imperative. Through relevant SEO keyword usage, paid social promotion, and native advertising, hotels have the ability to use a multitude of targeting options to help increase the reach of the content they are creating. The next step is going to be to create videos. This includes videos on the website, live videos, and also 360-degree videos throughout the site. The important aspect of visual content marketing is to really drive engagement. And with growing short attention spans of users online and many social media feeds favoring video, it's important to incorporate this content as a part of your overall strategy. This can include videos such as marketing message video on a homepage. It can include live 360-degree videos for different feeds, such as feeds to a beach or a certain aspect of the property that people are very engaged with, and also video of the rooms throughout the property to be able to really truly show the different room types and the different features throughout the property. The next aspect is going to be really creating interactive visual content. By being able to create visual content that allows for interactive infographics, it allows people to really remember a lot more of their journey on their website. About 80% of people remember what they see and do, so requiring your audience to answer questions or interact with your infographic in some way or another will increase their retention of your content and also the value that they get out of it, and the likelihood that they'll actually share it with someone they know too. Interactive content increases time on site and page views by as much as 500%. With the help of an interactive infographic, Google breaks down what can sometimes feel like a very technical and intimidating topic into a simple explanation that goes step by step. As a user scrolls, they learn more about the back-end processes associated with organic versus paid search results and can better understand what's happening behind the scenes with their SEO and pay-per-click efforts. Moving forward, we'll also have Margaret speak a little bit about distribution of content.
So it's important to note that in content marketing, the booking isn't the end. And having relevant content to past guests' everyday lives is really crucial to staying connected to and engaging guests long after their stay. So content marketing is really a retention strategy, and it can be a key component in your ongoing loyalty marketing and can really turn your past guests into your brand ambassadors. So next we're going to go into tracking your goals and setting KPIs. So also be sure to choose benchmarks of success whenever you're creating your content. So your agency should have tracking in place to be able to track everything from site traffic to bounce rates and revenue. And use these measurements of success to really help dictate what type of content you build in the future and what type of audience you are reaching with that content. So really make sure that when you're starting your strategy that you set these goals and KPIs in the very beginning, because this is going to set the tone and the execution of your strategy, and then it's going to help you gauge success along the way. And finally, let's recap. So, first, we want to make sure that all of our content is transparent, and you really don't want a discrepancy between your hotel's official and unofficial content. So that way you can really maintain your brand authenticity. We want to make sure that you're using analytics to inform your content strategy decisions and that you're identifying the right audience to reach with all of your relevant content. Next, you need to make sure that your content should always be evolving. Your content strategy is a living, breathing ecosystem, and just like your customer is always evolving, your content should be evolving along with them. Next, you want to ensure that you're pushing out your content consistently. Fresh content is really key to keeping your past and potential guests engaged, as well as leverage any and all media to the fullest. So it's not just about having your fresh content, you need to make sure that you're promoting this content seamlessly with one voice across channels. As Brahm talked about, you want to make sure that you're developing engaging videos. Videos are a really great way to make an impact. And in travel, we're selling an experience and you're selling a destination. And video is really one of the top ways to make that experience come to life, as well as creating interactive content that is engaging. Content has been around for a very long time in the digital ecosystem, and we know that our attention spans are constantly getting shorter. So having this interactive content is really a great way to keep consumers engaged. Next, you want to make sure that you're covering all of your distribution channels of content, making sure that you're promoting your content via native channels, via your own channels, earned channels, so on and so forth. And then finally, to make sure that you know that your content strategy is successful and that it's constantly evolving like we discussed earlier, you want to make sure that you're measuring your goals and KPIs and you're readjusting your metrics for success on an ongoing basis. So let's see a successful strategy in action. So for the Hebs Digital client, the Brown Palace, they had an anniversary milestone approaching. I believe it was 100 years, or no, it was the 125th anniversary that they were celebrating. So the Brown Palace came to Hebs Digital in need of a fresh and innovative content strategy to really build excitement surrounding this anniversary, and there was an event that they were throwing on property that they really wanted to build buzz for. So the goals were to drive engagement among the key customer segments, increase website traffic, increase social media following, and of course boost their SEO efforts. And the results of this are we saw a 17% increase in bookings initiated, 127% increase in SEO keyword ranking for luxury keywords, and we saw a 7% growth in their Facebook fans. So not only did we build reach and awareness, we really benefited their overall SEO strategy. We even helped increase their bookings and revenue, as well as built their fan base, not just to capitalize on buzz for this campaign, but so that we can stay connected for future campaigns as well. So now we're going to move into the QA portion of the on-demand webinar. So Brahm, what content campaign have you done for clients that you're most proud of?
Yeah, it's a really great question. So one of the campaigns I'm really most proud of, it actually does take into effect is we actually did take a look at our analytics and our reporting, and we were looking at different destination keywords that we can maybe improve upon within our organic reporting. And so what we did is we collaborated internally at Hebs Digital with our SEO and our SEM team that we have in-house here. And we basically came up with a strategy of the destination keywords that we're trying to improve upon. How can we do that? And so just kind of as we mentioned earlier, we definitely used multiple media lines to be able to put together a strategy. So the strategy was really to one is to create destination ad groups within our SEM destination campaigns. Mm-hmm. And these destination ad groups called out a lot of different long tail destination keywords in the New York area, such as Grand Central Station, Bryant Park. This is for a property in the New York area that was really trying to improve their organic value for these searches. So after we kind of created these ad groups, we actually looked at also the reporting based off of the search volume on these destination keywords. And our SEO team worked with our content team to really communicate the need for more content on based on these destination keywords on the website, so that we can improve organically with our SEO rankings, and then also improve within our relevancy within our SEM ads through our SEM ad groups that we created. So basically, what we did is we created different neighborhood pages that spoke a little bit on the destinations, such as Grand Central Station, Bryant Park, Central Park, and basically created content on these so that we can improve within organic and SEM rankings there. So we have basically created almost one page every 2 weeks, because it is very important to consistently create content throughout your website. So this is kind of our plan to consistently create it while also really achieving the goals for improved rankings in those destination keywords. So probably one of my most favorite and definitely one of the more strategic campaigns that I worked with one of our Midtown Manhattan clients, and something that I definitely recommend to take those steps to take a look at, and then continue doing that for
Yeah.
other properties as well.
Sounds like you followed our 10-step process very
Yeah.
successfully.
Yeah, it was organic too. I didn't even realize I was
Yeah,
doing it.
that's awesome.
Awesome.
So what content initiatives are you currently doing for your clients?
Yeah, so actually currently I'm working with a lot of our clients on blog content, and so that's certainly a huge portion of what we can do to really implement more lifestyle content pieces
Mhm.
to a hotel website. Basically, because for most of the hotel website, it's going to be more merchandising, trying to get
Mhm.
really customers into the booking funnel.
Mhm.
However, being able to utilize a blog allows us and allows our customers to provide a lot more destination focused, lifestyle focused pieces that they might otherwise not really put on the website, because it's more of a lifestyle piece there. So, what we are doing though is certainly using keyword research that our team has done internally based on the volume of keywords that are coming into that certain area and that property that they're receiving, and making sure that we're creating lifestyle pieces around that. So it could be anything around, things to do around a certain area at a certain time. So things to do, let's say, around Midtown Manhattan in the spring,
Mhm.
or things to do in the Florida Keys during the summertime. Just different activities along those lines, and
Thing,
creating.
things to do in
Yeah,
Midtown Manhattan on a rainy day. That's
exactly.
actually a very big search in many travel destinations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And using that type of research, and
Mhm.
then making sure that we're building relevant content in our blog, it does positively affect the organic value of our websites, just because as long as that blog is really connected with
Mhm.
that website, that it is able to provide that extra push and relevancy for that website to show up on
Yeah.
organic search
Yeah,
rankings.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, what initiatives have you tried in the past that have not been successful? I know in so many webinars, we're always talking about success and what works, but you can really learn from mistakes that you make in your content strategy as well. So, what mistakes have you made in any of your past content decisions, so to
Yeah,
speak?
yeah, absolutely. I can definitely speak to that. It's always good to learn from mistakes and try to, make sure that we're building upon some of those lessons there. So, I know one of the topics that we discussed earlier was making sure that we have video implementation on a website. So, definitely was working with a few clients on video implementation on a homepage and throughout different landing pages on websites. And I think one thing that maybe we didn't do immediately that was kind of not really a mistake, but an opportunity that we didn't take advantage of immediately, was being able to integrate that video content into something else, in terms of maybe putting that video content together with a campaign that could really drive awareness from that video, but then also drive bookings with a corresponding offer or a corresponding themed campaign to drive bookings. So I know that I've worked with a couple of clients that have placed videos on their website,
Mm-hmm.
and then we actually, after a couple months later, were able to put together an idea and a proposal for them that we executed upon, that allowed us to implement a video along with a multi-channel campaign
Mm-hmm.
that corresponded with the video. So it made the video a little bit more interactive,
Right.
and it allowed the user to click onto that video, interact with that video,
Mm-hmm.
and it ultimately led to a special offer that the property wanted to market. And basically, what had happened was by interacting with the video, and then ultimately having that offer and a call to action to get
Mm-hmm.
that visitor into the booking funnel. It was great in terms of being able to have people on that page for a longer period of
Yeah,
time.
longer
So
time spent.
that helps in terms of metrics and it helps organically for the website too. But then it also did drive a lot of bookings for that campaign too.
Yeah, I would say when you make a digital investment into something like video, making sure you're making the most out of that owned content. So, really distributing it across channels, having it on your website, having it a part of your social strategy, and then making that as much direct response as you can, I think is super, super important. And it will really show the return on that investment because video can be a larger digital investment for a lot of hotels, especially if you're getting actors or shooting lifestyle content,
Hmm.
and now drones are a thing. So
Yeah.
there's really a lot that goes into that. I was going to ask how would you improve upon, but it sounds like you already rectified your mistake and you already gave that advice. But the last question I'll ask
Hmm.
is if there was one piece of advice, one must do for any hotel starting a content strategy tomorrow,
Hmm.
what would it be?
Definitely, one, really looking at what your goals are. First, identify what your goals are as a property. Are you wanting to improve in certain destination keywords organically or even through paid search? And then maybe looking at what the opportunity is from those goals. So
Mm-hmm.
if we are looking to improve on certain destination keywords or even brand
Mm-hmm.
keywords, how can we basically look at your analytics
Mm-hmm.
on seeing what are the main drivers,
Mm-hmm.
organic drivers to your website, and then making sure that we have content around that as well. So if there's something that people are missing on the website, or the client is potentially missing some
Mm-hmm.
content on the website that really needs to be implemented,
Right.
do the research to identify what those content pieces
Mm-hmm.
are, then work with your SEO team and your content team to really put together a strategy
Mm-hmm.
on that. There's a lot of different strategies and a lot of unique and creative ways we can do that. As I mentioned before, we can do that with a lot more of just actual content that's on living on the site map. We can also create videos that maybe curate an experience that people can interact with and has a lot of different destinations mixed in
Mm-hmm.
within that we can call out.
Yeah.
And then also just really including that also within blogs and in lifestyle pieces. The thing is with SEO is for the most part, you're not going to find maybe the immediate impact with SEO because
Mm-hmm.
it does take time and it's a long-term strategy that you want
Mm-hmm.
to put together. So think about the long-term strategy months out in advance and be
Mm-hmm.
able to act on it now so that you can actually, uh, you know, bear the rewards of the fruit of kind of all of that work later on down in the
Yeah.
road. And you'll definitely see a lot of year-over-year improvements within organic value and a lot more even within month-over-month improvements in keyword
Yeah.
rankings too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Brahm. That was really insightful to hear about your experience in building content strategies. So that's everything for today's on-demand digital download. If you have any questions or want to get started with a content strategy, please reach out to success@hebsdigital.com.